So on Facebook, we had Afid that contacted us and said, hey, I'm coming to New Zealand in about a week and I'm super stressed about forgetting something when packing my bag. Aren't we all? That is the most terrifying thing to do, packing a bag. Can you guys do a video of the absolute essentials to pack for New Zealand? You can include even the most obvious stuff because I'm super forgetful. All right.
We can do obvious.
So the very, very, very essential. So you're about to come to New Zealand and you're like, damn, I wish I have forgotten nothing. Well, here is what you absolutely need to have in your bag. And the first thing is, well, have a bag. That's pretty handy. Yeah. Backpack or suitcase, but you know, you need one of those. You asked me to actually put the obvious stuff. I'm putting the obvious stuff right here. But yeah, so there is a lot of debate between backpack and suitcase. Laura prefers suitcase. I prefer backpack. Everybody is different.
Yeah.
So pick the bag that you like the most. But remember that this is the bag that you're gonna stick with for a very long time when traveling in New Zealand. So make sure you pick the thing that you like a lot. Something like that is comfortable for you to carry around. And something that you're very, very happy with and which is sturdy enough. Don't get something cheap because it's going to break and you're going to be pissed.
Yeah, and those baggage handlers aren't exactly nice and gentle with baggage. So
I don't even handle my own luggage gently and nicely, so I don't expect them to.
Yeah. Actually, but I think what's more important than that even is having a good day pack, because you actually do need to carry a lot of stuff when you're out and about in New Zealand. Like we've mentioned a million times on this channel about the weather changing all the time. So you're going to want to have some extra layers in your day pack, maybe have a rain jacket. And you also want to have, you're going to be carrying some essentials around like sunscreen and bottles of water, food and stuff like that. So it's always good to have a good day pack while you're traveling around New Zealand. So that's really important as well. And obviously in New Zealand, you're going to be doing a lot of hiking because that's like one of the best things to do here. There's so many free hiking trails that you can be doing or short walking trails. So with that in mind, you're going to want to pack some good hiking shoes or a good pair of hiking boots, preferably waterproof, because like we said, the weather does change quite often. And
does the weather change often in New Zealand?
It does change really often.
Really?
4 seasons in a day.
Oh my god! How many seasons in one day?
4.
4. Wow.
4 whole seasons in one day. Wow.
So someone can say that the weather changes often in New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably not heard that before, but the weather changes a lot, and that it does include rain.
She's gonna talk to you about rain jacket in about a second.
Yeah.
What does you need to pack?
Yeah.
A rain jacket. No, but seriously, you absolutely need to have a rain jacket for New Zealand.
You do.
Speaking about the essentials, so yeah.
This isn't a laughing matter, Robin. You need to pack a rain jacket as well, and have that in your day pack.
So you want your rain jacket not to be too thick as well. You want something rather light, so you actually can put it in and out.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna find that because there are a certain amount of seasons in one day. How many? 4. I think 4 seasons in one day. Because there is 4 seasons in one day, sometimes it's going to be summer and it's going to start raining. So you don't want something too heavy either. So I personally prefer a light rain jacket and add some merino wool layers, just in case there are rain that happens in New Zealand. Because sometimes it does happen, because I've heard that where is it in New Zealand?
Shut up. Anyway, another absolute essential, which I really love, for packing in my backpack for New Zealand, is a fast drying towel, because I made the mistake when I first came to New Zealand to pack a cotton towel, which not only takes up a lot of space in your backpack, but it also takes forever to dry. Literally it never dries. Actually, you can hang it wherever you like. Cotton towels never seem to dry when you're traveling around New Zealand, and not all accommodation provides towels for you to use, especially if you're staying in hostels or campgrounds or any like real budget accommodation. Towels is not an option, so you're going to want to bring a fast drying travel towel. So usually they're microfiber, and yeah, you can find them on Amazon and stuff like that. They're like real easy to find.
Yeah, we'll put some links down there just for you guys to know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, they fold up really small, and they're really light. They dry fast, obviously, and
they don't smell bad as well.
And
which I really
yeah,
like,
exactly, because cotton towels end up smelling really bad if they never dry. So fast drying travel towel is an absolute essential.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some other ones?
Oh no, I think you should do the next one.
Layers.
Why do we need layers when traveling in New Zealand, Laura?
Okay, so you need to pack layers because the weather is always changing in New Zealand. So merino wool layers, maybe an extra like one warm jacket or something, especially if you're traveling in the winter months. A rain jacket we've already mentioned, but also a few light tops as well, because when the sun's out, usually that's when it's really nice and warm. But as soon as that sun goes behind a cloud, or you have like a cloudy or rainy day, usually,
like if you have 4 seasons in one day, for example,
or on a night, the temperatures can feel a lot different to when the sun's out. So it's good to have a few extra layers just for that ever-changing weather.
Yeah, cool. The next thing that you're going to want to have is, well, a reusable water bottle. The water in New Zealand is very available. There is water everywhere, so there is no need for you to have any to purchase any bottle of water, right? You can use the tap, and almost every single tap in New Zealand you can fill it up and get some water. So save the planet, get yourself a reusable water bottle. There is some really cool one that you can clip to your bag, and they are they're made of plastic, so they're foldable if they're not full and everything. So that's really cool. So make sure you have one of those. We really do love it. You see us using them all the time, and I think you definitely need to have that. As it's kind of a gadget, so I'm thinking about gadget right now. I think you also need a New Zealand travel adapter. Obviously, you come from wherever you're from, because you didn't mention that on the message, but you're probably going to have different pin plugs for your appliances, for your computers and all of that, so make sure that you have a travel adapter. This is something that a lot of people forget, and when you come here, an adapter for New Zealand from Europe is much more expensive than it needs to buy from a home, so make sure that you pack a New Zealand travel adapter. Thinking about the travel adapter, you may also want to get yourself a multi-plug. Now, a lot of people forget that, when you stay, especially in hostels or even in a hotel room, you only have like 1 or 2 plugs. It's really not that much. So what I actually used to do is I used to have my, multi-plugs, and then I had one travel adapter that I plug in it, and then I could plug all my stuff to charge right on there. You're going to be, the darling of a hostel if you show up with that, because that means you're not going to be having to fight with everybody else, and you're not going to bother everybody else by taking all their power plugs, which is quite cool. Another thing to pack is a bit of cash. Obviously, you want to have a little bit of cash on you, not to be too stranded. If you can get some New Zealand dollars from back home, get yourself like $500 in cash, so you have something to see you through. Otherwise, get yourself a currency which is very easy to exchange, like euros, US dollars, or something like that. You also want to pack in your little first aid kits. Everybody needs a bit of a first aid kit. Everybody knows what kind of pill they use the most, but you want a little bit of that. And in there, you want to put some really, really strong insect repellent, just in case you're traveling in New Zealand within those months where the sandflies are in and about.
Yeah. Also, on a similar note to that, get some insect repellent for the sandflies.
I need you to say that.
You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunscreen. That's what you want to talk about. Sunscreen.
Yeah.
She's drunk today. Honestly, I don't think you should do breakfast vodka ever. Oh, silly.
And so you need some sunscreen, preferably high factor sunscreen, because the sun is really intense in New Zealand. There's that pesky hole in the ozone layer, which is just above New Zealand, meaning that there's no real protection between the UV rays and your skin. So you really need to have high factor sunscreen. But also in your medication kit, you will need to obviously take any prescription medication that you take. And also to make it go through customs when you arrive in New Zealand, you need to have the prescription medication in its bottle, which shows all the information that it's prescribed to you, that it's prescribed from a doctor and stuff like that. Even if you've got a paper note or something, just to be on the safe side, you need to prove that basically the prescription medication is prescribed to you, and you can only bring up to 3 months worth of prescription medication into New Zealand. And then after that, you are going to have to get that medication in New Zealand, which is easy to do, and we'll link up in the description below on how to actually do that in an article that we've got on BackpackerGuide.NZ. And yeah, so also bearing in mind when you're coming into New Zealand as well, you're going to want to have a copy of your visa, if you do have a copy of your visa, because some of the visas are electronic with your passport. So remember your passport. Also, any paperwork, if your visa, for instance, asks for supporting evidence, if in case there's any problems at the airport, just make sure you have the paperwork which shows supporting evidence for your visa. And because there's so many different visas, we won't go through all that paperwork right now. But if you go onto the Immigration New Zealand website and you look at the visa that you have got and see what criteria you need to meet and usually what paperwork goes along with that. And the final essential to put onto your packing list are your swimwear, or togs as they're known in New Zealand. If you're traveling, it doesn't matter if you're traveling in winter or summer, there's always going to be reasons to get into the water, whether it's hot pools or going for a swim at the beach or going for a swim in a lake, in a swimming hole of a river. There's really like a lot of options to get in the water. Going whitewater rafting, for instance, or blackwater rafting, loads of different water activities to do in New Zealand. So there's always reasons to pack swimwear.
Here you go. So that is the absolute essential, the thing that you cannot forget when coming to New Zealand. You absolutely have to have those items in your bag. But we link to a couple of articles in the description below to help you with your packing process in New Zealand. We have all the packing list, very much more complete than those ones. Yeah. Also with plenty of links, especially to the microfiber towel and to even some foldable water bottles. So all of that is in the description below. And if you do have any questions of your own, make sure to put them in the comments below.